Hi, I'm Mac, and Happy New Year's everyone. This is my first video of 2018, and I'm very excited to get back into it. I hope everyone had an absolutely splendid New Year's celebration, whether you went out and partied, stayed in with friends and family, or went to bed early, because that's exciting too. To all of you who have New Year's resolutions, good luck. I know they can be hard to accomplish. I, in particular, don't have any. I don't really like them. Why, you might ask? Why didn't you ask? Because I think if you come up with any goal that you want to reach, you shouldn't wait until New Year's. If I come up with a goal that I want to reach, I kind of go the impulsive route and just go for it. Furthermore, I have to remind myself that if and when I fail at this goal, I don't actually have to give up. I don't have to fail. If you take any part from this video, please take this part. If you have a goal of losing 40 pounds by April, come the middle of March you've only lost 20. That doesn't mean you should just give up. If you are trying to become a vegetarian this year, and by June you're eating your 10th cheeseburger with bacon, you are still eating less cheeseburgers with bacon than I am going to reach next week. If whatever you are trying to do isn't coming easy, or you're not getting to that 100%, remember, you have all year, and you can change your goals. Don't give up, because that is the only way you are going to fail. Reprioritize how much weight you want to lose. Celebrate every salad that you get through. And choke down a little water with every beer you're about to drink. Little victories matter. The main thing you should be going for is the self-discipline. Don't disappoint yourself. The rest doesn't matter. Alright, so I feel like that was a good preface for my main topic tonight. Promises, namely, ones between you and God, and promises you shouldn't make. Now know this before I start. Most of this is not objectively true. This is subject to my own opinion, but I hope that my opinion will help some of you cross some of these promise bridges that I've crossed in the past. Promises are tricky for some of us. Sometimes we make promises we didn't intend to. Sometimes we make promises before we know things that would make us regret making those promises. And some promises that we make are harder to keep than we thought. And some are easy through and through, but I won't be focusing on many of those. Why do I want to make this a topic of one of my videos? Why do I want to make this a topic of one of my videos? Why do I want to make this a topic of one of my videos? Have you ever been backed into a corner to make a promise, big or small? I bet you have. Why do I want to make this a topic of one of my videos? Well, have you ever been backed into a corner? Fuck. Why do I want to make this a topic of one of my videos? Well, have you ever been backed into a corner to make a promise? I bet you have. Promise me you won't tell Mom. Promise me that this will stay between us. I'll only do this if you promise me this. You've all been there. But what can you do? You've crossed your heart, not healthy, and hope to die, also not a good idea. Personal example. I needed a car. I found the vehicle that I wanted. Nothing crazy. It was a 97 Ford Escort station wagon. Yes, station wagons are bitchin'. They just are. I couldn't quite afford this bitchin' mobile on my own, so my mom offered to help, under a certain condition. She knew I was looking at a jail guard position at our local jail, and I worked at a fast food restaurant at the time, and just breaking out of my teen years, this all looked pretty good to me. So the condition, my mom offered to front the money, if, and only if, I promised to drop trying to get that job. Furthermore, I couldn't try to get any other job in law enforcement, the fire department, or anything in military, because it was too dangerous for her little boy. Reluctantly, I took the deal. So let's look here. I made a promise, and by all means I could have not made that promise. Also, my mom could have talked to me about it and not come at me at such a manipulative angle. So, am I scum of the earth if I break this promise? I know everyone's going to have their own opinion on this, but I think no. Now, I never got a job like this, and a large part of that was because of this promise. A promise that there's a good chance now that she probably doesn't even remember me making. But I do. We as a society hold promises very dearly. We as a society hold promises dearly to us. Keeping them can make or break us. Breaking little promises without other people knowing can still damage our self-worth. Why do we do that to ourselves? A bigger question that I'd like to pose is, why do we do that to each other? Why do we let others do that to us? I feel like the typical parent is maybe the best example here. If you want to go out tonight, you have to promise us that you're not going to do this. Now, if you know that you probably can't keep that promise, what are you going to do? I bet half of you probably just thought, lie? Because think about it. If you try to be honest and argue, or say no promises, the chances are you're going to live as a shut-in for a while. This hurts the trust between anyone who makes these sort of binds. If shit hits the fan, they're not coming to you because they already know that wrath is waiting. I'm not saying that lying is the answer by any means. Communication is key, open communication. People that you love and trust need to be open with you, and you with them. That way you know what to expect from each other. A harder example, but I think you'll get my point. If you are in a relationship and you have a little slut devil on your shoulder, it's best to say that. If you are in a relationship and you know you have a little slut devil on your shoulder, it's best to say that. You can put on many dating sites now that you are in or you are looking for an open relationship. And enough people are into that now that you don't have to lie about it. If you don't want kids, if you don't want a pet, if you don't want to get married, don't let anyone make you make these promises. If you are clearly uncomfortable, say it and or leave. It can save heartache from being drug out. The point is, people are going to try to make you make promises to get what they want or to avoid consequences. We, as a society, as humans, need to start saying that this is immoral. This is as immoral or worse than breaking said promise. We must start weighing the option of what does more harm, keeping it or breaking it. Breaking a promise should sometimes help our reputation rather than harm it, and it shouldn't tear us apart to get to that point. I say if someone backs us into a corner and says, promise me, we should be able to, if we have to break that promise, come back and say, you hardly gave me a choice. Now, I know that this is common sense to so many people, but it isn't to all. And that's what makes this an important topic to talk about. There are so many shades of gray here. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is religion. And I know, why, Mac, why? Every time! Well, I'll take a drink for you. I apologize. I took a good drink for you. Okay. Because I grew up as a Christian, and I made promises to God. And I did this on my own free will, but you are fooling yourself if you think every Christian gets that luxury. Baptism, youth group, from the pulpit, somewhere you will get pressured to make promises to God or your religion. And you can bet that the whole congregation is going to hold you to it. Every time that you have a lack in faith, you find them and they remind you. Devote yourself to Jesus. Trust in God. You promised Him your life. Now do your part. Trust in God, promise, or devote yourself to Him. And most people do in the heat of the moment, and then you're in. And there's seemingly no escape. Look at Lent. If you live in a Catholic society, you are not allowed to forget that goal or promise. And you have to make one, which is my biggest problem with it. Lent, by the way. We will be making a whole fucking video about this bullshit topic. Stay tuned. I remember as a teenager, when I was struggling with how the world worked and what good and evil was and what was deserving of eternal damnation, I made promises to God. Like, God, I'll always be on your side. I will always believe in you. I will always be faithful. And one time in specific, I remember promising to Him that, God, if I ever stop believing in you, heaven forbid, I will never, ever be against you. And look how that turned out. My point is, though, me being the kind of person that I am, I hate breaking promises. And that promise kept me in my religion longer than I would have liked, because of guilt. Now, this may seem harsh or an odd way to put it, but I don't believe in any of that anymore. And the promise, any promise that you make to a rock that you break doesn't hurt the rock. And any promises that you make to an inanimate object or something that doesn't exist, they don't matter. So you can't let them hold you back. The promises that you make to yourself, I think, are the most important. Adjust when you can't reach, and continue to reach when you fall short, for your dignity, your discipline, and for your own self-worth. Again, I'm Matt Clark, and if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. I really appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and please share. Also, last time my video made it to 1,100 views, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you to everyone who shared this video. I really can't thank you enough. I don't know who all shared it though, and I don't know what everyone thought. So if this video makes it around to you again, or if I make it around to you again, please leave a comment. Tell me if you hated my opinion or if it made you think. That would mean as much or more as 1,100 views. So I hope that everyone has an absolutely wonderful night, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What's your name?
Oliver.
Oliver. Can you say, hi, I'm Oliver,
Hi, I'm Oliver.
and I'm here to make this video better.
I'm here to make this video better.
High five. You've done it.
I did.
You did.